What I've got for you here is an Athearn Genesis Southern Pacific GP9. And I just want to do a quick overview on this. This thing's already put back together and it is wired up for DC operation. So before I close this thing all up, I wanted to show you some stuff on if you see these, like this belongs to a friend of mine. He's gonna sell it at the train show on Sunday. Okay, so what I wanted to show you is, so this thing had this in it. So if you get, this looks like a Tsunami sound decoder, but it's not. It's just a light board. And it had this plug here. This is a DC plug. So the idea was that you would unplug this and you would plug in a decoder, whichever kind you wanted that followed this color coding, like a Digitrax or something. You'd plug that in. All right. Well, this one doesn't have any lights at all, so that board, we don't need it. And if someone wanted to put DCC in it now, having this much stuff in there is going to really make it difficult to put in a good decoder because it takes up so much space. So we're not going to put that back in there. That's ancient tech now. So basically what I did was I put a little two strip PC board in there. Okay. It's very smooth running. But this motor here, by today's standard, this would not be a good motor for DCC, especially with anything delicate, because when I tested it, it will stall over 1 amp. And it does draw kind of a lot of power. But it's smooth, and this is a nice shell. It's got a full cab interior, and it's just that little green thing in there right there. That's why we got to drop down these wires here so that we can fit that in there. But let's take a look at it on the track. Okay, now I did, as you know, we like to have these motor poles facing to their rear. This one I think has got to be set up for long hood forward, but when I tested it, it still ran backwards. So all I did was I took one wire from one side, the other one from the other side, and I just crisscrossed them so that it runs in the normal direction now. So now if I turn the power pack on and I put the arrow to the right, it'll run to the right. So it's been all cleaned, lubed, wheels ox guarded. Very quiet. It's actually pretty nice. But if I was to pick up one of these and do DCC, I would definitely replace that motor. It just goes over the limit, and that's to be expected. That motor is not, it's not new, and it draws some power. I want to say at about 4 volts or so, it draws about 0.2, 0.25. But it's a nice, smooth operator. That's not too bad. So if you come across these and they have stuff like this in there, don't be afraid to get them. You don't need this. If you put a new decoder in there, like a Tsunami is this same form factor, and there is room for it right on the top here. So you can definitely put in a decoder, and this would not be a very difficult one to remotor, because this here is a length 8 motor, and you can drop in a new motor there, and then it would be good to go for DCC. And the cab's got superb details on it. I mean, look, the windows even open and close. That's pretty nice. That's pretty great. And these come with they come with a pretty nice manual. Now the box said this had sound in it, but it definitely did not have sound, because I think if it had sound, this little top piece over here wouldn't be here, because it can unbolt right there, and you can put a speaker there. This one did not have sound, but the diagrams in here, that's some of the best documentation I've seen, and it makes it really easy to go ahead if you want to put guys in the cab. Shows you how to do the cab and everything. Decent unit. If you run across these Genesis GP7s and 9s, pretty good to go.